All right, Chris Vogt has joined us, everybody. Welcome, Chris. Thanks for joining us today. If you guys want to start with your questions for Chris, fire away.
Keith just said this team can make history. Do you agree?
I think for sure. I feel like we have all the pieces here, and everybody. We got another year in the system. I just feel like we really got a good opportunity to do something special here.
Is
Well,
that why
Chris,
you came back for the season? This to do something special. Can you talk about what went into that decision and what it means to be back in this program?
I mean, when my name was in the draft. Really just getting a lot of feedback and stuff. I just really kind of, me and Keith were talking about it too. Just like we both need to do what's best for us, but that's kind of why we both put our names in, just kind of get feedback and stuff like that. But we both were just kind of talking over and decided we had like some unfinished business, especially like how like the season ended last year. So we just kind of had that to motivate us to come back this year.
Keith, what's it been working with Rapp and getting to know him and his game and how you guys might complement each other on the floor?
I think we'll complement each other pretty well. Rapp is pretty skilled for his size and moves pretty well. So I feel like we can see him in a lot of pick and pop actions, and he can move pretty well with the ball. So I feel like our games kind of complement each other pretty well.
Chris, you took a big jump last year just in terms of minutes and responsibility for the first time in your college career. What did you learn about yourself and your game?
Really just as long as I put the work in, there's really nothing like no potential I can't reach in my eyes. Looking from my freshman year to sophomore year to junior year, every year I took a big step. Freshman year, not really playing that much. Sophomore year, being the sixth man. Last year, being a starter and playing a key role in the championship team. So, the goal this year is just take another one of those big steps like I have previously.
Was there anything specific you worked on this summer?
I'm just worked on being more versatile on offense instead of just primarily my points last year came off like ball screens or like catching the ball and off drives and scoring or post ups, and just working on scoring different ways on offense and working just guarding better on defense and rebounding.
There were a bunch of games last year where your minutes would change depending on the matchup. Is there anything you can do to be in a better position to play 30, 35 minutes every single night?
Last year we kind of got in a tough situation just because we lost one of our backup centers there. And then I had a shoulder injury. I don't know if a lot of people knew about that, but actually halfway through conference season, I had like tore my labrum in my shoulder. But I think this year will be one of the goals. This is just be able to play more minutes, be able to be more efficient in my minutes while I am out there, and be able to just be more consistent as a whole.
When did you hurt your shoulder? And more importantly, how do you feel like you responded after that injury? Do you feel like your play changed at all? Your style changed at all?
The timing was kind of about halfway through conference, but it wasn't too severe, but it was one of those kind of weird timing things. Like, honestly, couldn't get an MRI like by the end of the season just because of all the COVID and everything hit. And then by the time that like it was over, like I didn't even need surgery anymore because I was already doing therapy and stuff for it. But what was the second part of the question?
Did you have to change your game at all? Do you feel like you were still the same after the injury?
Yeah, part of that was just like kind of the first half of the season I was playing more physical, and then after that it was just kind of like, I'm not trying to make an excuse, but just kind of like limiting me on offense a little bit. And like I felt like myself, I was playing less physical than what I wanted to.
Chris, you guys are predicted to finish fourth in the American Conference. Is that something that's maybe expected with the loss of Trey and Jaren and guys maybe doubting you, or do you feel like that's a little bit of disrespect for a team that shared the title last year?
I feel like that's a little bit of disrespect just because I'm not sure the last time that Cincinnati's finished below the bottom three in the American, but you also just got to look at, I think more so people are looking at what we lost instead of what we have coming back. Because, I mean, hats off to Jaron and Trey and other seniors we had. They're great players, and obviously they're going to have great careers after college. But think about the freshmen we have coming in and the new guys we've transferred in. I think we'll complement each other well and have a pretty good team.
You mentioned Rapp earlier. I'm sure you've been probably playing on the same side of him, also playing against him. What about him is going to make his scoring ability that he showed carry over into a new conference?
I mean, he can just shoot the ball very well for his size, and also I'd say he's pretty surprisingly good footwork. I mean, he catches the ball in the low post or mid post. He's able to create angles for himself pretty well. So I feel like he fits well into our offense.
Chris, I know we asked you a lot, especially last year, just about Coach Brandon because of your past relationship with him. What have you seen, him and some of the assistants better than anyone else or have known him longer on this team? How have you seen how they've handled this kind of strange offseason?
I mean, I feel like we've handled it pretty well. I mean, everyone's going through the same thing, so it's tough for everybody. So it seems like, especially in the summer, every week or so, it was just like a new curveball was thrown at us, new guidelines or new rules for how we practice or when we can practice. But they've really been on top of things and really kind of handled it to the best of their abilities.
Same question I asked Keith. What has been your impression of this freshman class as they've gotten on campus? And it seems like they fit in pretty seamlessly from listening to everybody talk about them.
Yeah, I mean, I've been really impressed, really all four of them in their own way. I mean, I can talk about each of them, honestly. I mean, Mike, he's really good with the ball, really fast, can score well in transition. Tari, just really long and athletic, just wingspan, just like surprise you sometimes in practice. And Mason and Gabe can just shoot the crap out of the ball, and all of them work really hard. So it's not like your typical freshman who they're not really sure like how the college game works or like how to put in extra time. They're all always in the gym getting extra shots. So it's good for like the seniors and juniors, upperclassmen to see freshmen come in already willing to work.
Any more questions for Keith, guys? All good? All righty. Thanks for joining us today, Keith. Or Chris, sorry. God. My first Zoom call, too, it seems like. But thank you, Chris.
I don't have a question, but your hair looks fantastic, man.
Thank you.
That was good. You got the foosh cackle in the background, too. All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll send this around, different recording. If you need anything else, just holler at Foosh.
Thanks, Kaz.
Have a great day. See you all Saturday.
Kaz, question.
Thank you.
What's the plan? I mean, I could ask you this Saturday, but what's the plan next Tuesday with Election Day? Okay.
I'm still waiting on a schedule for next week.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking about that myself, but yeah, we'll have something.
Sounds good, man. Thanks.
Yep. All right. Take care, guys.
Thanks, Foosh.